And I won't go back again. So just looking at this, this is the meteor shower. So when you get the meteor showers on the other asteroids, that's what it looks like from your main base. Obviously the main base doesn't get meteor strikes, so that's why it looks like that. You will also see that I have skipped the time and all of them areas have now been cleared out. So there's a huge open space, but all of them resources are now available for us. Of course, only the important places, the light blue is important for the actual duplicants. The darker blue on the left-hand side is the farms, so that's good because they use carbon dioxide, and then all the red is obviously vacuum or just other stuff. It doesn't really matter. But so centrally as well, you will see there is the super system that I've set up. So you've got oxygen, polluted oxygen, chlorine, hydrogen, natural gas, and carbon dioxide going from top to bottom. And then you can just see at the very bottom, we've got just pulling the carbon dioxide from the bottom of the base that settles to make sure that it doesn't push out the oxygen too much. But that's automated as well, so it shouldn't cause an issue. And then each layer has been color-coded to the retrospective gas, just because I like to do that. There's no other reason really, it doesn't do anything, it's just aesthetics. So yeah, obviously when they get full, I'm not sure if they get full, we'll see. But one thing I did notice was while I was moving the oxygen over, certainly from this left-hand side where you can see I've cleared it all out, is that I had a lot of oxygen stored, so that was good. All there is now is them 2 last tanks that need to be drained, which I will do shortly, and then the automated water system, or the fluid system, for the salt water, brine, and polluted water, etc. But that's just going to continue at the minute. I don't think there's a reason to get rid of that. It's working. There was an issue, as you can see, with the cooling system for the ethanol. So it's not doing very good at the steam turbines. But it is working nicely on the other thing. And then you can see here, I'm not sure if I showed this, I'm just going to recap it anyway. Every single frozen item, I've told them to store in there now. That hopefully it will melt out and create more liquid. But we'll see how it goes and move on from there. But yeah, everything's now been removed. There is no more digging to do on this asteroid. I don't even want to know what that's doing. Right, it's doing a handstand. Yeah, it's doing a handstand. He got trapped on there and there's nowhere he can go because apparently he can't walk on walls like that. Drecko, I can't remember, I keep forgetting the names, but yeah, the Drecko thing that's walking on the walls is gone, and then there's another group there, look. So yeah, let's move on and see what else we have done. Okay, so let's move over to these fields, or not fields, but you know what I mean, the critter areas. So I'm actually converting these critter areas now. As you can see, there's already in there our first glossy Drecko. Yes, Drecko, that's the word I was looking for earlier. Glossy Drecko, and they are the ones that turn hydrogen gas into plastic. So we need to firstly sort out the crops because they do not eat the grub fruit. We need to switch that over to the mealwood, mealwood. And I'm going to do that on both floors. So both of these floors are going to be for the Dreckos, and then the one on the right hand side I'm just going to leave for now. I just need to make sure I've got these. Now what I do is I build that, but it's actually pointless because I'm just going to grow the crop directly in there and then just leave them alone. All you then need to do is set up some sort of automation or a way of getting the hydrogen inside that area, because what it's best to do, or what I like to do, is get the top 2 tiles as hydrogen, the bottom 2 tiles as oxygen, which means that the duplicates don't have too much of a drama going in there. The crops can still grow because the mealwood can grow with oxygen. But the top, which is where they spend 50% of their time while they're in there, and as you can see they climb up the walls and then across the roof, and all the time that they are in the hydrogen, they are growing like there, they will be growing the scales. And then they get shared, you get plastic, and it's rinse and repeat. But we do need to get hydrogen in there because otherwise it won't work. Okay, so I screwed up a bit where you can see it's quite clear. I connected 2 pipes I'm not supposed to have connected, so I've got hydrogen going into the wrong line. I can't remember what that line is because it's hard to see without the colour behind it, but I'm going to now just take the hydrogen out of here, connect it to the Drecko pens. The automation that I've set up in there then will automatically stop putting too much in, or it should. So we'll see, as soon as we get this built, we'll see it moving up to the base. We'll let that just go off. We've got the shearing machines in there as well, which is what they use to shear the plastic. You can see that one's already been sheared, and it's eating the mealwood. And of course, as they eat that mealwood, that will make them grow, lay more chance of a glossy egg, and we'll get more and more of them. I think 6 is the maximum you can have. So we've got 2 rooms there set up for them, so that will be 12. So we'll be able to get that amount of plastic. Now, it is definitely sustainable. Because the mealwood is easy enough to grow. The farms are having a few issues because of illumination, and that's because we're having, and this is what I mentioned earlier, so the automations, the batteries are green, so they should be charging, but they're not. So, looking at the automation wire, it is plumbed in correctly. There's something funky going on, and I can't quite figure out what it is. So the best solution here is to rip out the automation wires, because the steam is going to process anyway. I don't think it's going to make that much difference. And we'll just go from there. We can always make a nuclear reactor if we're struggling for power. Okay, so over something to a bit more exciting. The rocket is indeed ready to launch. We've got the rovers stocked up as well on the steel, so that means when they land they will indeed give us steel. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned it previously, but I was in fact incorrect. So when obviously you deconstruct the rover's capsules, it does give you that metal back, so you will get a nice amount, 400 times 3 for my case, 400 per of steel. Unfortunately, the rovers can't actually build the rocket pads. They're not able to, so that isn't the solution. But it still gives you that resource on the planet, right? So when you can get somebody there. Now, there is another item I need to put in, which I can't remember what it's called now, but it does allow you to land on the planet without a platform, and that is what we actually need to do moving forward. So I'm going to look at doing that. Okay, so we're on this ship, and this time I've actually set it up correctly, or at least this time I put water in, which is useful for a sink and a toilet. The good thing about that toilet is, though I was confused when I was doing it, but that's not going to come across with how I'm playing, but I was confused by the fact that there was no dirty water. Well, that toilet in the wall, if you can see the pipe, just goes straight through the wall. So basically when they do a 1 or a number 2, it just throws it into space. So you don't need to get rid of the dirty water. The only dirty water we'll get is from the sink if and when they use it. So until it gets there, there's not really much we can do. It's going to take, I think it takes about 3 cycles or something? I'm not sure. It's reasonably slow, but it's only going to the orbit anyway. Again, it can't go for a landing because we don't have the landing pads. But certainly for the next stage of rocket, the upgraded rocket after this one, it will definitely be able to land regardless of a pad. So we can go from there. I think we can move on for now, and then we'll come back to that when it actually arrives in orbit. So back over to the Dreckos, and as you can see, the hydrogen is in there now. It is down three blocks instead of 2, which is a bit of an issue, but we can fix that easy enough just by moving the automation gas sensor up by 1 block, right? And that will hopefully solve that problem. So on that note, here we go. We can now do that. So move that up 1 block. That will cause, hopefully, it to be a 2 and a 2. Or thereabouts. It's not critical. I'm not too worried about the duplicates either, to be honest. They can hold their breath. Have sore eyes. It's not the end of the world. What is the problem is that the crops can't grow. As you can see, they keep twitching over to failing because they can't grow in hydrogen. It has to be oxygen, polluted oxygen, or carbon dioxide. So it's the plants that are important here, because the plants feed the animals, which breed more animals and also give us the plastic. The duplicates can hold the breath. That's not too much of an issue for me. And then it has actually arrived in orbit now, so we can actually get these rovers coming down. We've got a nice flat surface from what we built previously to do that. So here they come, all next to each other. The rover droids immediately step out and start cracking on with whatever it is that they're expected to do or are able to do. I'm then going to ask them to deconstruct the 3 capsules, which will give us the 1200 steel to make the rocket platform. And as you can see, we'll get that down there. But all they can do is actually to deliver the steel to that platform. They can't build it. I'm sure they used to be able to, but I could be wrong. So we're stuck there again. We haven't really achieved much here at all. Again, the second rocket, the next rocket I'm going to make, which is the upgrade, has the attachment that allows them to land regardless of the platform. As soon as we get a duplicate on here, we'll make strides there, because of course that will build immediately. We'll have to land the rocket and get all of these where you can see the failure mining. They can't get through, so they're stuck. Now just to send the duplicate back and leave these droids to do whatever they want to do. At this point I actually thought I'd lost them already, but what's actually happening here is that there's no tasks that they can do. All of what you can see they either can't get to or are unable to do. So it looks like, and I can actually see them now, I'm looking, because I know where they were, but I feel like they've all just vanished off the face of the earth. And it took me a few seconds to realise it, and what I did was just told them to dig somewhere else to show them. Because they don't move unless they're actually doing something, so it makes them almost invisible. But yeah, on that note, we're going to end the episode here. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please click like. Any comments are welcome. Subscribe for further updates. Take care. Goodbye.